So, hello again. I'm very happy that you all could come today. And I want to say that probably this is was very good decision to join us today. So let's start our event. First of all, I would like to introduce you our speakers. That's my colleagues from Infopulse, Anastasia Zhdanova. She's the head of RPA practices in Infopulse. Also, Alexey Burlaka. He is a lead expert of BI and data management competence center in Infopulse. And also, here with us, our trusted partner, Savar Vidason. He's CEO of Impera. It's an Icelandic IT sourcing company with whom we have done one of the most interesting RPA cases we are proud for. On this slide, you can see our today's agenda, and I want to note that all the participants are in the listening only mode, but as you can see, we have Q&A session at the end, so please don't be shy and use our chat to write all your questions you want, and I promise that we will answer on all of them, at least most part of them, during the event. But in case if we have a lack of time, you will get all the answers by email. And also, I would like to mention that all the presentational materials and the webinar recording, you will get shortly by email after the event. And right now, let me tell you a few words about Infopulse, who we are and what we do. Infopulse is an international IT company that was founded in 1991, and today we have over 2,000 engineers and consulting workers for us who are working across 7 countries. And it is very important for us to care about our team as our specialists bring digital advantage to our customers. We are a part of the Nordic IT company Tietoevry, one of the largest and strongest IT companies on the market with 24,000 IT specialists and who work from IT specialists and customers over 90 countries around the globe. Being a part of Tietoevry, Infopulse is fully compliant with the high quality standards of our mother company, and of course, we confirm it with our quality certificates. On this slide, you can see our main technology partners. We are represented in 7 countries, and we deliver mostly from Poland, Bulgaria, Germany, Brazil, and Ukraine. But you can also contact our local sales representatives in the United Kingdom and United States of America. We develop enterprise mobile solutions and complex systems that digitalize and streamline operations of Fortune 100 corporations and over a wide range of ICT and BPO services. We work with banking and finance companies, audit firms, the public sector, telecom, software, and high-tech corporations located in 40 countries around the world. And that's all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention. And on this point, I would like to give a word to our first speaker, Alexey Burlaka. Alexey, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Let me share the screen. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexey Burlaka, and I'm a leading expert of BI and Data Management Competence Center at Infopulse. For more than the last 8 years, I have been working with data at each stage from the data collection till creating of advanced analytics applications. And I'm glad to start here today our discussion and to talk to such a large group of data enthusiasts. My presentation will consist of 3 main parts. First of all, general discussion about the meaning of the data in the today world, or how the growth is fueled by the data. There will be several examples and cases of how the data opens the opportunity, particularly via bridging business and customer insights through 360-degree visibility. And finally, there will be a short talk about data solution in the cloud. As you can see in this part's title, is the wide whole cloud for reasons behind the necessary shift. It already includes a hint about the bottom line of the discussion, but I still think that the reasoning may be more interesting than a conclusion. So let's start. In our life, we face data many times every day. We generate it, we collect it, consume it, and so on. If one takes a short search, he or she will find a lot of definitions. Here, provide just a simple, I would say, one taken from a wiki, and I will not read it whole, but for me, the most important is the last part. Data represents the raw facts and figures which can be used in such a manner in order to capture the useful information out of it. Why I stress on that? Why it's so important? Because a lot of data is generated every day, and it's up to us whether to use it or to lose it. And the tendency is to use it. Today, everybody sees how data changed the world. We all know the data and AI unicorns names. Neither of us is unaware of ChatGPT, but it's all the revealed part of the iceberg. These teams did a lot of work with a large volume of the data before being acknowledged. Not all of us know how to use all this stuff, but anyway, it's very interesting, isn't it? And I must mention that we have many data solutions that's already a part of our life, and we used to have it without any thoughts what's behind the scene. For example, I think most of us have experience of using Google or Waze navigator to avoid traffic jams in the city. But how many of us tried to overcome that, to do that better? I have tried to compete with them, and I won sometimes, but on average I lost. And the reason for that is that our process is much more data than I have. And most of us can benefit from that, from actually gathering and processing the data. And actually, the more data the application has, the better information, the better result, and better saving, time saving, money saving we can receive. And the tendency was foreseen, I think, for decades already, and it was almost 12 years ago. It was said that information is an oil of the 21st century. But in my previous example, I was talking about our personal life. What about business? The company MicroStrategy in 2020 published a global state enterprise analytics report, and it contains a survey of big companies around the world. Particularly, they asked about how important is data and analytics to business growth strategy and to digital transformation efforts. 94% of companies answered very important or somewhat important, and 2/3 of them, by the way, answered very important. So it's a very important part of today's business. And another question, and the result I show on the screen, was what benefits has the organization realized through the analytics use? And you can see the results on the slide. Almost 2/3 of companies answered that efficiency and productivity was improved, and more than a half choose that they have better financial performance and faster and more efficient decision making. I no need to mention that it was a multiple choice question, by the way. Let me show one more chart here. It's not really a fresh picture, hardly you find much fresher around the internet. But anyway, it's just an estimate. And it's an estimate of volume of data that was created, captured, copied, and consumed worldwide since 2010 to 2020. And the At that moment, it was a forecast for the next 5 years. So you can see how the total volumes of the data dramatically increases or just 1.5 decade. So it's 90 times. And that's actually what it means for me, that there are investment in hardware also. There is a computation, there is storage, there is a networking capabilities actually to process this data. And this investment is done because this data really allows to make money, to actually to create a value. If we are talking in big details, I usually receive a comments, oh, yes, but most of this part is multimedia content, and that's actually true because video, first of all, video contributes to these volumes a lot. Whereas in our today discussion, we are not focused actually on analyzing of multimedia content. We will talk mostly about just common things like numbers. And but I need to claim that the volumes of the data, traditional data, financial, HR, whatever data is generated inside the company, it also increases and increases high. And there is another contributor, by the way, to these big volumes, and it's just Internet of Things. Just to remind you, what is IoT? IoT devices are pieces of hardware such as sensors, gadgets, appliances, or machines that are programmed for certain application and can transmit data over the internet to other networks. Most of us have many of these devices today, and we all contribute to this volumes of the data. We all have smartphones, smart TVs. Some of us have smart houses. I have smart plugs, not house, but plug. But anyway, and all this stuff create data. And moreover, industrial IoT device creates much more data, much more larger volumes of data. And these data are really in our scope, because using this data, we can improve our maintenance of our equipment. There are security applications based on IoT data. So there is a lot of things that can be done with this large volume of data. And let's take a look on this slide. It provides several estimates and forecasts regarding the development of IoT market and IoT data. I will not read everything, but what's important here, just to bridge to previous slide, you can take a look and see that there is an expectation and forecast that by 2025, the total volume of the data generated by IoT device will be 73 zettabytes. And if you recall from previous slide, is in the same year, there is expectation that there will be 181 zettabytes generated. So it's quite important contributor besides video. And this all, as I said, in our scope, because if we really can do analysis, is that with our description, is with our analytics methods. If you're talking about analytics, I think most of us for years have been working with some traditional descriptive and diagnostic analytics. And when we are talking today about the modern data technologies, the first thing which is coming to mind of my colleagues or our clients is to talk about, first of all, predictive and prescriptive analytics. And I really agree that it's a big fun to actually do that analysis, to do prediction or prescription. And even if we're not talking about prediction of lottery numbers or exchange rate fluctuations. But how do you know that you and your data is ready for that journey? In my experience, it's not always the way. And it's not always the case, because many companies have a desire to do that, but there is not enough data, either volume of data is not enough or quality of data is not enough. Does it mean that you cannot use the data as an oil for further growth? No, because you can leverage, you can have a faster, deeper, and more thorough standard business, common business intelligence. I mean, descriptive and diagnostic. Using modern data technology, you can have a faster and cheaper access to the data for the consumer. You can increase comprehensiveness and deepness of the analysis. You can improve quality and data consistency. You can integrate and analyze from different data from different sources. And of course, it will in general increase data availability. I have, by the way, here a real life example. When average company has a department of analysts whose main responsibility is from month to month, from year to year, just together consolidate manually data into the reports. They have strict deadlines over times, whatever. They need to meet them. They provide these reports to stakeholders. Quite often, stakeholders have additional questions, and they need to do that quickly. Digitalization report with modern technology, we can avoid all this stuff. Standard reports will be created automatically with monitoring only, and stakeholders can mostly answer their own questions themselves. They will drill down to the source of the data, and that's all. They will receive all the stuff. There will be a lot of savings, and a qualified analyst can do much more qualified jobs than just pressing on buttons, extract, update, refresh. And it's done today. And moreover, having all that stuff will allow leveraging and do a qualitative shift in your analytics. And one of these examples of such a qualitative shift is actually creating a bridging business and customer insights through 360-degree visibility. The main idea behind this is to get a complete view of customers by collecting data from the different touch points that a customer may use to contact a company to purchase products, receive services, and support. It sounds simple, and although it doesn't look complicated on this chart, but it's a little bit simplified theme. So the idea is that you have a profile and demographic data, transactional data, behavioral data, and social data. So you gather all the information which go again, not against the law and not against your company privacy rules. You gather out the data out of your system, ERP, CRM, some information about interaction of your customers with your sites, with your offline facility, some interaction with your accounts in a social networks. All the data can be gathered in one place and providing you complete visibility and maximum knowledge about your customer. It will allow you to improve a segmentation of that company customers. You can measure a cost of retaining that customer or customer lifetime value. You can do all this stuff, and it will improve relationship with your most valuable customers. You will find most efficient communication channels. You will understand the customer consumption patterns better. And all this stuff will become a background as a basis for leveraging predictive analytics. Particularly, we can talk about the churn prediction and personalized offers to the clients. And this is just a concept, and I can provide, for example, the following case regarding the solution, which is, frankly speaking, didn't have that 360-degree visibility in the project name, but the idea is the same, actually. A big international, multinational company, Carteva, is agriculture, chemical, and seed company. They needed to improve the efficiency of their marketing and sales staff. And as you can imagine, every big company has a lot of different data sources, including big ERP, CRM systems. Of course, there are proprietary solutions, so then there are Excel files housed out there. And all that stuff as a part of this project was gathered in one solution, and salespersons can have the insights about customers either on desktop or in the office or on tablet and field. So behind the scenes, there was a Azure cloud solution and Azure data warehouse, which extracts a lot of the data from different data sources, collecting it, processing it, and push it into the Power BI front-end solution. But in general, all that stuff allows people, first of all, in the field to see when they're visiting customer, to see all the data the company has about that exact customer. Additionally, there was extraction of the data from social networks and so on. So, and additional KPI calculation for that sales stuff. If we are talking about business values, the last but not the least is scalability of general architecture of solutions. So if the data somehow will increase or there will be new countries, new departments, so we can actually extend the solution without any issue. Since we were talking about just a standard relationship database in previous case, I would like to show this is definitely another solution. It's a big data for a platform for big provider of mobile data services. It is a big Belgium-based company, which is recognized a world-class voice carrier and the leading provider of mobile data services. And the issue challenge we helped this company to solve was related to a big volumes of data, which is more than 10 terabytes. They needed to have a big data volumes like 2 terabytes and process them at the same time in a real time. So all the stuff was done by creation a data platform using Apache Hadoop, Apache Spark, Apache Kafka technology. And after all, this solution allowed to decrease costs compared to the previous relational database solution, increase the time of processing, parallel real-time processing of big volumes of the data. And this data platform was a basis for the further advanced analytics solution using AI and ML solutions based on the created data platform. This slide just, I would say, a simple schema of this solution. We will not spend a lot of time on it, but it's really big and impressive. And since I mentioned advanced analytic cases, I would like to briefly show a couple. So one of them is machine learning-based customer churn prediction. It's a case of a retail division of the bank, which actually asked for creation a churn prediction model. So they wanted to know which of their customer is likely to leave the bank, and such prediction model would allow them to take some action to avoid this undesired outcome. And as you can see, the build model has quite good performance. And after all, there was a positive business value, a positive effect as increase of the loyalty of the customers and profit. Of course, there is a saving related to the because they will not lose customers, and they will have balanced customer portfolio and operational stability. Another example, which by the way also corresponds to the discussion to the 360-degree visibility, because the total volume of data about customer allows to build a recommendation system for online store. So in this example, online store provided us the data about their sales and what they have about customer, and we applied item-to-item collaborative filtering method to predict what client may wish actually to buy. And there was additional algorithm which allowed actually to filter that stuff, to filter that user recommendations. I will not provide just here too many technical details, but I will provide another example when, for example, in my case, I bought bags for the vacuum cleaner, and in a couple of days, I received a recommendation, not from my system, of course, that they promoted for me a vacuum cleaner. So this filtering should allow this client to avoid such a funny situations and to increase actually the relevance of the suggestions. So, as you understand, this solution should increase sales of the customer and improve the customer loyalty and grow the customer satisfaction. So for today, these are all cases, but before proceeding, I would like to ask you a small question. What do you think is the most common thing about those cases that I was talking about? You have a chance to write a couple of words or just one word in the chat. I will give you just a couple of minutes. Oh, I think minutes and stuff.
Probably no one knows.
Oh, okay. So let's proceed. I will answer my question on my own. The main idea is that most of them are related to the cloud. And actually, during Infopulse has a really long history. I think it's already decades of building on-premises solution for the data. We continue working with these customers again for many years, and we support an on-premise solution. But within the last several years, all of our new projects started were related to cloud solutions for the data. And many of our existing customers either think about migration or already started a migration to the cloud project with us. Why is it so? And that's my third part of the discussion. It's why go to the cloud. Just to recap for some of us is that when we're talking about cloud, we mean the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage, and computing power, without direct active management by the user or the company. So generally speaking, instead of buying servers and software, we buy services. And we do not have CapEx, but usually have OpEx. So why moving to the cloud becoming a growing trend? I would say there are four main reasons. If you have a cloud solution, it allows, and this solution is configured properly, you're going to save. Because you do not need to buy a hardware. You do not need computer storage, server storage. You can avoid necessity to support this hardware, software every year. You just paying for services. You will not usually have a disaster recovery cost because it may be quite costly on-prem. And again, if you configure cloud solution well, you do not have such a big problems in with recovery on the cloud. Again, depends on solution, but usually you don't have software cost, you don't have electricity cost, you don't need area of data center, you don't need a facility, and of course you don't need some people, some labor costs, which related actually to the stackback software hardware. Another important thing is enhanced security and data loss protection. For example, if you're talking about data loss protection in cloud, of course you will need to pay for that, but you can save your copies in a different regions. It's a maximum protection, but so if you have the data in several regions, it's much less likely that you ever lost data. In order to do the same on-prem, you will have to make a lot of efforts. And if we're talking about security, there are a lot of things in cloud you receive out of the box with cost or often without any additional cost. And you need to do a lot of effort to do the same on-prem. Another important thing is scalability, because when you're building your own data center, you need to think how big capacity you need forecast next years, because you do not want to do that every time, every month or every year. So you need to have a reserve. You don't need usually that in the cloud, because you can scale up, you can do horizontal or vertical scaling very quickly. Sometimes it's done, in most cases actually it's done automatically. You don't need all that stuff. Also, you can use different services, which would be an issue probably in your local data center, because you need to establish that service. And here you can again have all the stuff on the out of the box. And all of that allows you to save money and time. Another point I would mention here, I didn't put that as a separate point, but it's important. Because for me, this scalability allows you to decrease the time to market, because you actually need just think and plan your development. You do not need to plan hardware. You don't need to plan data center. You have a solution, you develop it, you push it, and increase your capacity used for that as soon as you need it. And that's great. And the last point here is improved collaboration. A cloud solution allows much more easily to collaborate with clients, suppliers, employees. It decreases the costs of integration. I mean, time, it's much easier to establish integrations. Of course, there could be a counter argument that everything can be done by federalization, and we, of course, can establish the connection between on-premises network using gateways. That's all true. That's how stuff works. But you need to do some things. You need to pay for something additionally. You need some efforts to establish that and support that. You don't need if you have a complete cloud solution. And actually, that's our main point. And let me just to summarize my part of the presentation. Data creation, storage, and usage are increasing dramatically over the last decades. Even the company, which is not a unicorn, can benefit from mastering descriptive and diagnostic analytics, as well as building predictive and prescriptive machine learning model. Infopulse has decades of experience in building data platforms using a variety of technologies. Provided there is appropriate data, we can help also to create value from it with machine learning, predictive, and prescriptive models. Most of our new projects for several years are cloud-based. Clients choose cloud data solution to decrease cost, increase reliability, availability, and scalability, and also to improve collaboration. So that's all from my side, and thank you for attention. And I pass the stage to Anastasia.
Alexei, thank you. I'm really glad to take the words from you. Colleagues, we can continue, yeah? So my name is Anastasia, and I'm responsible. I'm working for Infopulse. I have been working for Infopulse for around more than 3 years, and I'm leading RPA practice. And I would be glad to share today with you some new things about RPA and about automation in general. I would try, I would say. And also, I would try not to be so boring. Joking. So, Elena, move on. Speaking about our today agenda, I would like to continue, to make a whole story, to continue speaking about benefits of the RPA in cloud. I would try to explain for you the difference between intelligent automation or hyper automation with RPA. I also would like to speak little bit. I understand that RPA it's not something new yet, but what is the best cases what is the best cases for automation using the robotic process automation technology. We also present a demo, but today during this workshop we will not share it with you, but of course you will have it in follow-up presentation. As the next point, I would like to explain you a little bit more about intelligent automation possibility and give an idea of what we have already done. And after that, I would transfer the words to Slava Riderson, who is CEO of Imperio, our reliable partner, with whom we create one of the case about which we're really proud. So let's continue our story and let's continue to speaking about benefits of the RPA in cloud. Frankly speaking, it's quite the same that my colleague Alexei has already explained you a couple of minutes ago. For sure, it's cost saving, yeah, and I do not like to tell the same story, but in another words. So for sure, it's cost saving as well. Yes, it's also about hardware infrastructure. It's also about licenses and so on and so on. But it's also about scalability. And here I would highlight comparing with the data scalability. Yeah. If you're speaking of about automation in cloud, about RPA in cloud, it's also possible to scale your solution. And it was one of our challenges while we implemented the automation for healthcare institutes. It's a Icelandic company together with Imperial. Yeah, it was one of our challenge that we need to create a scalable solution and be able to scale it to another one institution. It's mean like when you create an automation for financial department, you are able to scale it to the IT or I don't know to the accountant if the process is quite similar. Yeah, it just to fine tune something some point. And another one point that we need to highlight is about the fastest passing automation value. So you do not need to install or to update the solution about yourself, about your IT guy. It's easy to onboarding and set up the solution for your team. For sure, it's platform availability and indeed it's about security and availability. Let's move on. Let's speak a little bit more about the intelligent automation and hyper automation difference. Yeah. So, I would like to start about such maybe general information. Yeah, it's not in use that in this VUCA world, in the digital transformation, continue gathering the pace. Yeah, a lot of innovation technologies and approaches are entering to the market. And what is about the hyper automation? So what is the main difference comparing with RPA? If you look to the different resources, we will find that hyper automation, it's not a tool, it's not a solution, it's just a concept of automating everything that can be automated by combining various tools, technologies, and capabilities. And if to say in simple words, hyper automation is about focusing on the business needs, firstly. And after that, based on these needs, based on this of the goal of this automation, choosing the right technologies. Yeah, and it's quite important. This approach, I mean, hyper automation, has already been implemented in many organizations. However, Gartner reports that their clients plan to increase the hyper automation investments, I mean, in upcoming couple years. As opposite to the traditional automation RPA, yeah, hyper automation presupposes a much bigger scale and more sophisticated automation tool. And let's look on it like little bit details. And I will try to give you some examples. Yeah, computer vision. Yeah, it's not a good technology. Yeah, it's about, if we speak about computer vision, we always understand that we need to receive the information from the camera. Yeah, or take information from the camera, analyze it, transcript it, and after use it. Computer vision is about facial recognition. It's about age and gender detection, movement tracking. Let's imagine that we need to build new marketing campaign, and we need to understand our customer and our consumer. Yeah, and we can understand the age of our customer, and we can understand the gender, yeah, of our customer, and based on it build our marketing campaign. And for sure it will be more effective, I think. So next is the machine learning. If we speak about machine learning is the algorithm. They are set to deeply analyze the large volumes of data and drive more accurate prediction and bring more greater outcomes. If we speak about machine learning or deep learning, we are able to build predictive quality analytics. We are able to predict maintenance. We are able to predict sales and trends prediction. For all of this, for sure, we will need historical data. How machine learning can be combined with other tools. Yeah, let's look. I would like to share with you one of the example. We are already in implementation process of this project. For that reason, I cannot share with you the customer name, but it is one of the biggest Asian manufacturing company, and together with the customer, based on the historical data, which we, for instance, take using the robotic process automation solution from the customer internal ERP, analyze it, build machine learning algorithm, and after that, able to predict sales or for upcoming periods, I mean. And based on this data, based on this data, I mean, based on the prediction of sales, we are able to predict other needs for customer, yeah, to produce these sales, yes, to be ready to produce these sales. One more case. Let's speak about customer service, machine learning in the customer service industry. Hyper automation can also help you to deal with the growing customer expectation and to communicate with customer as well. So we had a case of automation of customer support. Before, customer receive a lot of emails, tickets on email, and it was a team of 5 employees who should read these emails and dispatching it manually. After the prediction, after algorithm build, algorithm automatically trigger on their emails. After that, based on the historical data, analyzed it and classify these emails based on the data to responsible departments or to responsible people. And the end of the day, we receive around 98% of accuracy of the dispatching of these tickets, and just one employee left to make some correction, or if it's something new. We scale this solution. It's also about scalability. It's also about cloud. We scale this solution, and at the end of the day, creates for another one department to like a really similar solution. It's about machine learning. The next point I would like to speak with you is I would like to share, I'm sorry, with you, it's optical character recognition, it's facility image transformation into text to enhance document processing. And I would like you to share with you a really sorry popular case. It's about document processing and about invoices that might be automated with hyperautomation, with RPA, with OCR, and with machine learning. Let's imagine that day after day we receive a huge amount of invoice. Yeah, and it's a nightmare for accounting, believe me. Yeah, and based thankfully to the to that we are living in the 21st century. Yeah, we are able to read email automatically. We are able to open the attachment. We are able to understand this attachment, extract information from that, after that send on the verification to the employee if it's needed, and after the approval populate all this data to internal ERP and bill payment calendar and so on. Here, I mean, in document understanding now, a lot of like most popular vendors, RPA vendors, has inbox machine learning tools that helps to, based on your data, that helps to bring more accuracy on understanding the PDF, yeah, on understanding the PDF and on the understanding the attachment. Frankly, it's also add-on in case of payment, but it's working quite good. Now we are also in the delivery process of invoice automation of invoicing process of one of the bank. So virtual assistants. I would like to highlight mostly this point because virtual assistant is really the part of the hyper automation and refers to leveraging AI-powered virtual assistant like a ChatGPT, and it's a hype now. Yeah, for sure, in conjunction with other automation technologies to achieve end-to-end process automation. And let's speak quite a little bit about ChatGPT for business. And I will give you one idea how it can be implemented for business. This case would be for HR. What is the most, if I would ask you a question, what is the most important for business in case of virtual assistant and in case of ChatGPT? And for sure you will ask me security. Yeah, why? Because when we use ChatGPT in personal use, yeah, we ask different questions, we enjoy the answer or not enjoy, I don't know. But if you are a business, you do not want to put all your data to hold the words, yeah, because of its security, it's not a good idea. So we created this case, it's employee copilot together with Microsoft. I would like to say, I need to highlight that we are vendor agnostic company, but it's true, this case was created with OpenAI, with Microsoft. And the goal of this project was to create a conversational AI system that can act as a copilot to employee and that can help them to perform their task more efficiency and providing them with the relevant important information about the customer, about the company, sorry. The solution, the algorithm was trained on the various corporate data sources, including company documentation and real case scanner. And this system was this system accessible via team chat and allowing employee to ask questions and receive the instant response. So this solution was mostly for the newcomer, yeah, and now we would speak more about new automation of newcomer process, but this also was about newcomer. For instance, let's imagine that you're newcomer in a big enterprise company and like you need to complete a lot of tasks, a lot of documentation, you need to pass a lot of tests. Yes, for sure you have an adaptation process if you are in such a good company like Infopulse, but after you will forget everything, believe me. So these solutions help newcomer to answer such simple question about where is free parking, about where I can have a lunch, about the customer sick leave procedure, and so on, so on, so on. By the way, I need to say that I mean the solution of ChatGPT for business, yeah, that we implemented also can be offered for employee role. This wasn't, but it like can be trained on a corporate data sources available for the separate role, like separately for accountant, separately for HR, separately for sales, and so on, so on, so on. And the last, but not least, it's classical robotic process automation solution. Frankly, we know that RPA has proven to be a valuable solution for automated business process and driving operational efficiency. RPA is not new solutions. RPA offers several benefits to organizations, such as improvement efficiency, increased accuracy, cost savings, scalability. But to make a long story short, RPA, classical RPA, I mean, it's about emulate human action. And let's move on the next slide. Let's speak a little bit more, and I highlight some point about RPA. When we started our automation journey, I always say that it's much more better to start from something easy, something not complex, and evaluate this automation. And after, together with the customer, it would be much more better to build really more reliable pipeline, yeah, and better pipeline, yeah, based on that. So for that reason, RPA as a starting point of automation, as the door opening to the automation, it's a really good idea. And what case selection criteria for RPA? What processes are really better to automate? For sure, it's repetitive process. Yeah, it's a process that you doing day after day. Yeah, it's the processes with high volume. When you need to work with a high volume, we understand we are people. Yeah, we can be tired, we can have some pains, I don't know, something else. And if you need to concentrate, we are able to make a mistake. And if we do not need to think, for instance, we just need to work with the data, I don't know, just populate it or just make some simple calculation. Yeah, it's much more better to do it with automation, to do it by robot, and to think and to have a chance and to have a power at the end of the day to think about something interesting and more valuable. It's a rule-based process. Yeah, always. If you speak about RPA, a rule-based process is the most important case selection criteria. If you want to have a 100%, around 100% of automation, the process 100% automate, if you need to people to be involved in this process. So low exception, for sure, at the logic, and high ROI potential. Yes, for sure, at the end of the day, each and every organization want to calculate the ROI of money that they invest in automation. Yeah, so for that reason, the process with high ROI potentially, it's quite important. And at the end of the day, what benefits, yeah, the business will receive after providing automation. Classical RPA automation, it's for sure improved efficiency, quick onboarding, comparing with the other solution. Because if we speak about, I don't know, automation with machine learning and RPA, in average, it's 3-4 months. If we speak about automation of just easy process, it could be 1 week or 2 weeks. Yes, for sure. If it's project with high complexity, it's also could be 1 month. But if, okay, let's take a medium, 1 month. Return of investments, availability, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And quick onboarding. Oh, I have already said quick onboarding. We have already spoke today about the invoice checking process. Yeah, and let's take an example. Yeah, we have a finance controller that have a process of invoice process, and he need to check the invoices, and one one finance controller will spend 8 hours a week to check the invoices. Yeah, and let's speak. If it's possible repetitive, yeah, it's processing back 2 days per day. Yeah, your colleagues will work with this data. If this process with high volume, it depends of the business, of your business. I mean, if you receive 100 emails per day, yeah, it's a big volume. If you receive one invoice per day, one email with one invoice, it's not a high volume process. Yeah, is it process rule based? Definitely. Yeah, it's definitely rule based. You receive a letter, you need to open the attachment, you need to read this attachment and populate the data to your ERP, and no exception. Yeah, process with a low exception. Is it a process high ROI potentially? I think yes, but for sure it's need to calculate. Yeah, it's depend of the salary, for instance, of your finance controller. For sure, if the hour of your finance controller costs, I don't know, $2, no, you do not need an automation. Let's do it by your finance controller, but it's not so. Let's move on. Lena, thank you for helping me. So, time zone, I need to be more faster. If you speak about intelligent automation and industry where it could be implemented, usually when we're preparing for some marketing events, my team always ask me, okay, what do you think for what market we need to concentrate? And I always answering that RPA could be implemented in each and every market, and my team hates me, but it's true. It's really true. Let's move on the next slide and look a little bit detail about that as the proof of my words that in each and every market. For sure, the most processes are in commercial, finance, and in accounting function. We have already spoken about invoice processing. It's about filling, approval, deliver, matching invoices to purchase order. It's about sales order processing. It's about, if you are from banking, for instance, for automation loan processes. Also, it's budget expense and investments manager. It's different action that might be automated CRM, ERP, SAP. One more, last but not least, it's customer onboarding process. If you are from retail and you have really a lot of customer and need to populate a lot of information manually, it might be doing by robot. HR and accounting function. It's also a lot of cases that we are able to automate. For instance, it's hearing process. I like hearing automation of hearing process. We communicated previously with one of the customer about automation of this process when the task for the robot was based on the criteria going through the different web resources, like download the CV, put it to their company folder and send the notification to their recruiters that please take a look. I have already done your job. You can download and review CV, but it's not it's not the finish of the process. It's also like with based on this information, and if to add some virtual assistant can deal and about the interview, about first meetings, and make an appointment based on your calendar. So one more about HR automation. It's employee onboarding, the same as the customer onboarding. Automation of the onboarding process can include generating offer letters, collecting and managing new hire documentation, setting up employee accounts, and providing access to the necessary system and company resources. Another one, employee data management, and it's keep on date employee data and update if it needed. Leave and attendance management and time attendance tracking. Also offboarding as the opposite of onboarding, and this process is automating offboarding process can include, for instance, deactivating accounts, retrying company assets, and conducting exit interview and updating employee records. But yeah, All this sounds really great, but it's important to say, to highlight that automation can bring significant benefits, not only to HR, but a lot of process. But it should be a balance for sure between automation and human interaction, and this balance should be maintained. So only human can oversight, emphasize, and communication in a critical areas, and to build their like a relation with employee. It's not able by robot. So the next information and communication activities such as mail processing, receive, extract information, and send. It's also chat message generation, reminder creation, and interaction with the customer. Let's move on. Data migration and the process manager, it's data metadata discovery, extraction, and automatically modification, different file formats, processing. If we speak about reporting, yes, it could be automated as well with RPA and not only. The solution can help to prepare regular daily reports, for instance, to gather the information from different resources and it collected to the one. We had implemented such case and it had already published in our website. It's open case, it's public case. We help customer to prepare finance monthly report earlier for today's, and it's really important for business when you are able to build the prediction and to build a strategy based on the real data. If we speak about a third function, it's incident manager. Incident manager is ticket dispatching that I mentioned you before, and numbering the case that we have already done. Let's move on. And I would like also to give you any idea about the engagement path. If you are on the first stage, if you are just thinking about automation, how it should like, yeah, it's high level, yeah, of the engagement path for sure. It could be, might be able to tailor made for your business, but firstly we start with idea. Yeah, we identify business challenge, we identify the idea, and we need to analyze it, and we need to doing something with this idea. And after that, assessment stage. Yeah, during this assessment stage, we build high level solution strategy together with the customer. We analyze of the existing landscape, creating detailed description and defining the solution, yeah, to at the end of the day to create the automation. After that, it's solution workshop. It's a collaboration between process owner, between all stakeholder and development team about the automating process. Yes, and at the end of the day, as a result of the solution workshop, would be PDD creation, where we describe a process as is and process after automation. After that, beginning development stage, where the developer doing his magic things and creating the automation flow. At the next point, I hope it's on the next slide. Yes, it's a user acceptance test where together, by the way, together with the customer, we test the solution and understand that everything is according to the process definition document, and deploying the process to the production. The last but not least, solution documentation, when we create the documentation and transferring the knowledge to the support. Support, it's one of the really important point in the automation value, because as kids need care of his adult, each automation needs care of the support team. It's really big mistake to fail in the support, because solution updates, application updates, you might be have any changes in your business process, and it's really need to care about the process, because at the end of the day, if failing the support, it might be this situation when your employee really work with automation process for instance for more than 1 year and forgive everything they knew, and after that let's imagine process failed. Yeah, so and it might be critical for business. for that reason, support him. Let's move on. And I would like to pass the words to our partner, to CEO of Imperio, to Svavar Widerson, to share a little bit more about this, like really practical cases for us. It was started like 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, but it's really important and it's really good case to share with you, I think. Svavar, stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Nastia. And hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is Svavar Widerson, and I'm the CEO and owner of Imperio IT Sourcing. We do a lot of IT sourcing projects in Scandinavia and the Nordics. And one of our first projects with Infopulse was this RPA solution implementation for the healthcare institution of North Iceland. It was also thought of as a strategic initiative for the government or the healthcare sector as a whole. And I will be presenting the business challenge and the solution, the business value, and I will not go deeply into the technical aspect as Nastia has already did that. So the healthcare sector in Iceland is based on, we have 2 national hospitals, and then we have healthcare institutes that are scattered around the country. And I have been working with, and my company has been working in this sector for like 5 to 6 years by contract. And they came to me, the Healthcare Institute of North Iceland, they came to me and said, okay, we have a problem. We are having difficulties scaling up and speeding up the implementation of the RPA initiative, and what can we do? And at that time, the government of Iceland has pushed everybody into adoption of Microsoft 365. So I said to them, okay, let's exploit that and take a look at the strategic initiatives and see what we can do. And together with my partners, Infopulse, we examined the business case, and we saw that okay, there is a possibility to switch from classical solution to a more modern technology, which we can look at the future and see, okay, this is cloud-based. We have an AI builder. We have a lot of things in connection with the Power Platform we can use because we chose Microsoft technology for this project. So we proposed this to the end client, and I said, okay, are you able to do it if we can, for example, get Microsoft to join on the project, on the pilot project? And they said yes, and we did that. We got some funding from Microsoft to help them replace the old classical tool to newer, latest technology. And we started, like Nastia explained to you, we started with low-hanging fruits, some simple processes for extracting data, migrating between systems, and so on. So what has happened since then? We started in Q1 in 2021 on this project, and we have now, I believe we have about 30 to 35 processes in production, and we have like 50 in pipeline. So things are going really, really well. And what was the basis of this success of this project was that we created we call it a marketplace where all the healthcare institutes can join in, and they can both develop and retrieve processes that the other institutes have made and implement by their own system, because 90% of the processes are the same. So in some cases, they only have to change passwords and folders and things like that. So it's a really easy adoption for them. So what we have been able to do is to lower the threshold to enter this project. And this has been really, really high or good attention, which we got here in Iceland. So next up, we have been working with also more institutes. So So the government is quite fond of this, because we look at it at 3 ways. We are saving cost. We are making the employees' satisfaction is higher, and also they are able to provide better services, as they say. So in this case, in the healthcare case, the cost saving has been several million Icelandic kronur, and this is a very good thing for them to present, that they were able to invest in technology and exploit the technology to save money. So if you like to sum it up, the aim of this project was to support the digital transformation strategy of the healthcare sector as a whole. So by lowering the threshold of entry to the automation world, and to take a look at things like cost savings, workplace satisfaction, productivity, and profit, as well as targeting the unit cost. This is the biggest problem in Icelandic healthcare sector is the unit cost, and we are attacking it at some way. So the cost ratio has gone up, and services has gone up as well. What we have been able to measure. So we are very happy with everything we have done, and the future is that all the ministries have now been in contact. So we will start probably with the Ministry of Finance, and they will be the leading ministry. So the idea of this marketplace where we can share and not invent the wheel one by one, and save a lot of time and money and cost. So this is pretty much what we did and where we are at now. So we are really looking forward to the future, and we have also been trying to, or there are maybe 3 or 4 processes in production which we're using, like the AI builder. So we are on to hyperautomation as well. So this is a very exciting times ahead. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Svavar, very much for your such interesting case, for telling it to us. And actually, we have a question. This question is for Alexey. And okay, so I will read it, and if it's possible, please answer. Alexey, do you have experience in implementation of advanced analytics in HR? Is it interesting to know? Well, yeah, it is interesting to know. Okay,
Yes, it is interesting to know. In fact, yes, there is some experience, and I would say that there should be a model and approach similar to churn prediction that we discussed during the presentation, because the main idea is for example, whether the employee is going to quit company. So such a model also actually can be applied. It will of course depend on the quality and volume of the data, and we'll have actually the same challenges as usually churn prediction. So yeah, for me it's just similar. I think if we give more thought to that, we can find other possibility to actually use machine learning. And as far as I know, there are applications which allow to screen in resume and CVs, but in this part, I'm not sure that it's used. Probably I don't know something, but the churn prediction is definitely can be the basis for creating a model for prediction of quitting.
All right, thank you, Alexey, very much. And we have one more question, and it's for Svavar. If you're still with us. Okay, you are still here. Oh, I can see you now.
I'm here.
Okay, so can you tell how you can evaluate this impact of automation on the institute? What is the main benefits? What are the main benefits?
Well, the main benefits. I would like to think of it as a 3-way perspective, like you have like the triple constraints. If you look at the time, cost, and quality, so it's a matter of perspective, I think. But like they said, they have saved a tremendous amount of time and effort and cost the employee satisfaction has boosted, and they're able to use their funds more in an efficient way. So medical services has been better. So summarizing, we've been able to freeing up the valuable employee time to serve the patient. So they have more time to serve, because this is a service industry. So overall, both employee and patient satisfaction has gone up. But I think the financial minister is also very happy because we have saved a lot of taxpayer money.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And I think that's all, because we don't have any other questions. So thank you very much for attending us today, for being with us, that we took your time, I know, but I hope that it was really interesting for you. And just a little reminder that you will get shortly an email with this webinar recording and with all the presentational materials. And in any case, if you have any other questions which you would like to ask us, please, we're welcome you to write on the email, and we definitely write you back. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.